Okay, let me share this live real quick. Okay, so peace to my Bigo Live room. Star, I see you in the building. Share the live as you guys come in the building. I was just trying to get the live shared, get my little meditation time in, and for time for people to also file into my House of Healing LLC chat room. This is was not a pre-scheduled live, so this is an impromptu midnight mindfulness session, and we are going to be speaking about escaping the matrix. So share the live, share the love, and we will get started in just a minute. Maestro, I see you in the building. Share the live as you guys come in. I am going to open the boxes after the discussion if there is a need to do so, if you guys have questions, comments, concerns. But I do want to go ahead and get the messages out. I've decided that this is how I'm going to do this so that I don't get distracted going forward. But I do invite you guys to stay You were just advertising before for me, Maestro. Well, thank you so much. I appreciate that. I really appreciate that. And it's very serendipitous that that this would happen, that if you were just advertising for me and then I just popped up. I don't believe that anything is a coincidence, but that everything is divinely orchestrated. Okay, so let's get into it. Jay Wood, I see you in the building. Good to see you, love. So shout out to House of Healing LLC, who will have the recording of this onto, so it will be on the channel later for anyone who shows up late and does not get the entire playback. For those of you who know how I work, I have written down some of the downloads that I've been getting, and also I will be channeling some messages in real time. So you guys are just in time if you're here in real time. And whenever you hear it, when you hear it and you get messages that you need, it will be in divine timing. So for those of you who are in the building on Bigo Live, share the live, share the love. Let's get into it. Feel free to comment, make comments. I am reading the comments on both platforms. And if you raise your hand, if there's something that you do want to get into, I will open the boxes so that we can speak. So the only reason that the boxes are locked is because I just don't want the distractions. So right now, no, I'm not on, I am on Clubhouse. Fresh, but right now I'm live on YouTube. Okay, House of Healing LLC, and I'm live on Bigo Live. So I will put my YouTube channel in the comments for those of you who would like to subscribe um, to the House of Healing on YouTube. It is House of Healing LLC. Also, if anyone would like to officially join the House of Healing family and officially put that herb and badge on your name, also hit me up. I am the one to speak to about that. If you are interested in becoming a host on the app, I can also help you out with that. I also recruit for the app. So you write down your downloads. Yeah. It's funny, Fresh, because, there was a time when I thought, I can just remember all of this, but you know how it comes in so quick because it's everything is at a much higher vibration than your normal, rate of brain function. And so when you're getting downloads, I've noticed, and with other people that I noticed that are direct channels or a medium of some sorts, when they start to channel, they start to speak at a much higher rate. They start to talk really fast, and this is because the information is coming in much faster, and your brain is trying to process it and get it out real quick. So there are a lot of people that I've noticed that when they're channeling their messages, they're talking so fast, they're even tripping over their words. And it's funny to me because I understand everything that they're saying, and I understand why. That it's sped up like that is because you're channeling, energy from a much higher from a much higher realm, which is at a higher rate. It's really a higher, it's really from your higher self that is in a higher realm. And so we're going to get into it. 111 in the chat just turned to 112. So yeah, this is, I want to get into our connection to our higher selves and how we integrate that into our daily lives in a practical way. And, how we essentially escape the matrix and how we ended up being trapped in the matrix to begin with, and what the matrix is and all of these things. So, I'm always trying to get us to the next level of spiritual awareness. Okay. You don't share your own lives. Yeah, you should share your lives, and then get people to share them. So yeah, you should share them, Maestro. I enjoy your energy. So, it would draw the people who are of like light to you so that we can connect, which is the whole name of the game at this point in time. And so I want to talk about, again, freeing ourselves from, what we have termed the matrix. Okay. And I mean, true freedom, true liberation from anything is required in order to enter into that next level of awareness. Meaning that, the very last thing that we're all going to do is release all of our earthly attachments to people, places, and things that hold us down. Okay, so true liberation is freedom from anything that is restrictive, any person, place, or thing that may be restricting you from being 100% you. Okay. And I think a lot of times people don't even really acknowledge to themselves that they're not being 100% themselves, because we've become so accustomed to playing roles. They say that all the world is a stage. And so people become accustomed to playing roles, and even with themselves and within their own homes, with their families and things get lost in the matrix. We get lost in the sauce, and it requires an unraveling. It requires shadow work and inner child work to get back to the true self, which I have termed the builder. And so, this is what this whole journey of self-realization is all about, is to make the self real, which is the very center of the one who is wearing all of these different masks and playing all of these different roles. And so I want to talk about liberating ourselves from all of these different layers that we have piled upon ourselves mentally, spiritually, emotionally, essentially energetically. Okay. These things are essentially taking up too much of our time, too much of our energy, and requiring too much of our God given abundance. Okay. And I don't care who and what it is. Okay, this can be a toxic, relationship. This could be, a binding, a controlling relationship. It can be an addiction. It can be addictive thought patterns, self-defeating thoughts, and negative, actions and things that we do out of habit. um, all of these things that we may be doing consciously or unconsciously through the law of hypnotic rhythm, just complaining out of habit, just being negative out of habit, going into depression or anxiety or hypervigilance out of habit. These are all signs of hypnotic rhythm operating unconsciously. Okay, so when we talk about the Great Awakening, what we're talking about is, becoming more aware of what's going on inside of our own minds, what's happening in our emotional body, you know what I'm saying? And connecting what's happening in our physical bodies with the root of it, which may exist in the mental, emotional, or spiritual body. So looking at ourselves as a whole being, and healing from that internal level, healing from the inside out, unraveling from the inside out. Okay, and this requires a tremendous amount of honesty with oneself and a tremendous amount of self-discipline. Okay, thank you guys for the gifts. I appreciate the gifts. So as we begin to awaken, and we begin to go through this transformation that I've been talking about for several years, as I talked about the time that we are in right now as the time of change. I dreamt about it 26 years ago and was shown what was going to be happening on the spiritual level. Okay, and so we're in a spiritual warfare right now, where a lot of people, their their vessel has been taken over by a lower vibrational entity. So pay attention to these things, because it's just like I said, just like Morpheus telling Neo in the Matrix how anyone could be an agent, in disguise. And so that's kind of the time that we're in, where anyone, including your closest friends and family, could become an agent of the opposition. Okay, so as we are awakening and going through this transformation, which is a sign of the awakening, is that you begin to change, you begin to grow. We begin to remember our true self, that matryoshka doll in the very center, the builder. Okay, the one who is having all of these other experience, the one who is wearing all the different masks and playing the roles. Okay, we begin to remember the true self, and remembering means to put back together that which has been dismembered. Okay, so what we're doing when we're remembering ourselves is we are putting back together these fragmented parts of ourselves that have been scattered over time, and not just in this one lifetime, but that have been, a story that has been unraveling over, it's the story of the lifetime of your soul, and not just this one identity that you're experiencing now. So when we start tapping into unraveling the story of the soul, we're talking about tapping into what we call the Akashic record, which is the record of the history, the story of your soul that your soul is having. Your soul has had more than one lifetime. Okay, so a lot of us have had many lifetimes. And I don't want to speak in terms of linear time, because we know that time essentially is not real. It's part of the illusion, that we are, preparing to escape. So I don't want to speak in terms of past, present, and future, but in time, in terms of, time and space, as far as a time and space where particular things happened. Okay, so we can look at past, present, and future as all parallel realities if we can see it from the bird's eye view, from the perspective of the higher self. It's all happening at once. Okay, but when you're down here in it, then you have no choice but to adhere to linear time. So my whole goal is to help you shift perspective, okay, from being just a character in the story to also being the writer of the story, and remembering that you were the one who began writing the story, and then the story got lost in it and forgot that it was a story. Okay, and so all of the parts of ourselves that we are putting back together as we are remembering the dismembered parts of the selves. This not only includes all of the hidden and forgotten or undiscovered aspects of ourself that are coming online, spiritual gifts and parts of ourselves that we had forgotten about. Me, I can say personally, some of the things that I have gone through, especially with going through a traumatic relationship with a narc, I felt like I had lost some of the essential parts of myself, such as the part of myself that loves to sing, that loves to write poetry, that just loves to express myself through words and music, the part that loves to dance and be creative. That was what the enemy was always after, is your soul, your very essence, your unique swag, your gifts. And so this is what they were after, and this is what you almost lose in this battle. And so this is what we're fighting to bring back together as we are remembering ourselves after whatever form that our spiritual battles or our challenges have manifested themselves in. Okay, so as all of these, we begin to remember ourselves. I've even noticed, even lately, when I was younger, I had the most beautiful handwriting, and I would notice, like, because I know that I have different aspects of myself. There's an aspect of myself that always says, "You know what I'm saying," and I noticed that when I'm speaking from my higher self never says that. So, you know what I'm saying? Those are two different aspects of myself that just now merged because I just said, you know what I'm saying? Okay. So, you start to really notice these different aspects of yourself. So I have an aspect of myself that is, is a teacher. There's an aspect of myself that is, the nurturer, the healer, you know what I'm saying? The counselor, and all of these things. And this is what we embody when we embody the spirit of the Most High, because this is all of the things that the Most High is. Okay, and so anyone who is an empath or a star seed, a light worker, who proclaim, who is truly carrying this light within you, these are going to be some of your attributes. Okay, a healer, a counselor, a teacher, you know what I'm saying, a way shower, And I'm saying a support system of some sort or some way serving humanity in some way, shape, or form. This is the whole reason for the okay, to host this energy. The energy is one of pure love. But not only are you bringing back, all of these undiscovered, hidden, or forgotten aspects of yourself, you're also beginning to reconnect with your soul tribe. Okay. And your soul tribe are also people that you have shared many lifetimes with, and they may seem very familiar to you. There may be a soul recognition. There's been several people who have come to me and told me that they remember me from other lifetimes and things such as this. So these are some really cool supernatural things that will begin to happen to you on your path. You will naturally begin to be drawn and magnetized to people of like light and people of a like vibration. And this is just really showing you the laws of the universe in action, that you can trust without a doubt that they work in the way that they work. All you have to do is learn them and then use them to your benefit. Okay. And so, they work like clockwork and they never fail to work. So these are laws that have already been put in place. And if we learn to understand these laws, then we can become the creator and the god or goddess of our own reality. Dr. Feels Good, welcome to the chat, and whoever else is in the bushes on House of Healing LLC, my Bigo Live room. Thank you for the gifts. I appreciate it. Share the live, share the love, my people. I know that it is 2:23 a.m. where I am, but we're still going to get it in. Okay, so for those of you who arrived late, this is being recorded on House of Healing LLC, so you can go back and listen to the playback. This is the Midnight Mindfulness session entitled Escaping the Matrix. So again, not only are you bringing back together the fragmented parts of yourself, but you're also connecting with your soul tribe. So again, what I've noticed with myself is that my handwriting has changed back. Like, I used to have this beautiful handwriting, and I think that all of the different ways in which I scribe, because different aspects of myself have different handwriting. Okay. And so I've noticed an aspect of myself that hasn't been here for a long time has returned, because I recognize her handwriting, her language, her desire to want to dance and to move with the music, to sing, to write, to be creative. And so I'm so excited about that, because I missed her. Okay. And she had been hiding the whole time that I was in the presence of a demon. Okay. And so now that the demon is gone, she can come back out and she can play and she can be free and she can be me. Okay. It's about, when I'm talking about liberating yourself from the matrix, which is made up of, all of the things that really, the matrix is really your own mind. Okay. And within your mind, there are hidden places, and there are the subconscious regions and parts of our mind that we are not aware of, that I came to illuminate. Okay. So that we can begin the real healing. Okay. From the inside out. So the reason for being brought back together with your own personal soul tribe is so that as a collective energy, we are stronger. And because it has already been written that as a collective, we are to shift into a higher level of consciousness. This is for those of you who have been actually doing the spiritual work, okay, to earn this shift. Because in the dream that I had about the time of change, which I've told many times, not everyone was coming. Okay, it was a handful of people. It was a limited amount of people that were on the mothership that I was hovering over the earth in. And I knew that everyone that I had came to get and everyone that I loved was on that ship with me. But I was looking out of the window down at the earth, which was on fire, and the people were burning. And it looked like most of the earth and most of the people on the earth were burning, and they could not get off of the earth. And the whole planet was a hot ball. It looked like a hot ball of charcoal. So there was nowhere to go to escape. And another thing that I noticed was that the people were not burning up and just dying, and disintegrating, but they were just burning and being tortured, but they weren't being allowed to perish. So it was like an eternal torture. And so It's symbolic. It could be literal, it could be symbolic. All I know is that not everyone is coming. Okay, it is those of you who have walked through the valley of the shadows like I did. Okay, those of you who fear no evil now. Okay, because you have learned through facing those shadows and through facing those demons within you, that your God is within you. Okay, and you know that you have everything that you need in order to navigate your way up out of this matrix. Because if you have navigated your way through the valley of the shadows, and you have suffered a spiritual death and rebirth, then you can navigate your way through anything. Okay. The only reason why you were even, called to walk through the valley of the shadows was so that you could come to know yourself as the light. Okay. This was the only reason for that part of your path. But this messages that I'm bringing forth are for those of you who have actually done the work to cultivate that relationship with that inner me that we always talk about, that we need to conquer. Say that I would use the word conquer, but I would more say we need to cultivate a relationship with the inner me. Okay, as we are in the midst of a quantum leap in consciousness, collectively. So I hope you guys are ready. Okay, put a one in the comments if you're ready. Throw your girl a mace if you're ready for this collective leap in consciousness. If you think you're going to be part of the great awakening, okay, if you was born for this, if you're ready, okay, let the universe know that you are ready, because heaven is already here. Okay, it just requires this shift in consciousness that I'm going to give you before I shut this live down tonight. So for those of you who have actually done the work, I hope that you are ready. Okay. I'm speaking to those of you who have consciously taken it upon yourselves, okay, to cleanse and purge and release and to heal. Okay. The healing journey, it is a choice. You know what I'm saying? I mean, we don't have a choice in, whether we go through traumatic things at the hands of other people, but whether we, taking our own healing into our hands is always a choice. Okay. The things that we have gone through, whether it was in childhood, adulthood, whatever, they may not have been our faults. Okay. But it is, however, your responsibility to take your own healing into your hands, regardless of what happened. So if you're still in that energy of, of feeling like a victim, that is the first thing that you're going to need to release. Okay. Because we don't do victimhood over here. We do survivorhood over here. Okay. So the first thing that you're going to need to release is that victimhood state of mind. Okay. Because the unraveler does not do victims. We do survivors. Okay. And then I create other unravelers. I create other narc slayers. Okay. I have no desire to be at the head of anything, the boss of anyone. Okay. I'm just the trainer to show y'all how to do what I do so that we can become an army. Okay. Against the darkness on this planet so that we can collectively raise the vibration together. Okay. So I'm not speaking to the people who think, that they can fool the Most High and act like they've done the work. Okay. Because there's plenty of those out here. You know what I'm saying? They listen to those of us who have actually walked this path, and then they steal little bits and pieces of other people's stories and regurgitate it. But if they were to actually be, called to actually come up against a demon or to fight, for real, they would fold because they have not gone through the training. They're just playing a role. They're just acting. Okay. It's a frequency that you cannot fake. Okay. So in order to experience the new revitalized version of Earth that I saw in my dream, the Earth that had a glow around it, you must become a vibrational match to the frequency of that Earth. The new Earth is a no narc network, by the way. Okay. that's another one of my channels on YouTube. If for those of you who don't know, No Narc Network is my channel dedicated strictly to teaching about and healing from narcissism and narcissistic abuse. I am a spiritual life coach who specializes in narcissistic abuse recovery, for those of you who don't know. So that channel is No Narc Network TV on YouTube. In the comments, make sure that you do also subscribe to that. But the new earth, my people, I'm going to make sure of it, is a No Narc Network. It's a network of light workers, okay? The ones who have experienced long suffering and who have died many spiritual deaths along this path. I'm talking to the ones who may be going through a dark night of the soul even as we speak. It is you who have suffered on behalf of the Most High. And it is you who are being prepared to inherit the kingdom. Okay? So I will always continue to remind you, my people, to examine your own thoughts. Always think about what you're thinking about. Be aware of, what's going on in your own mind and in your mental body and in your emotions, because this is how we become more self-aware and more conscious, because most people are just operating, without even thinking. They don't understand that they're being remotely controlled by either something outside of you or by parts of your subconscious mind that you are unaware of. Either way, you are not conscious, meaning that you are unawakened. You are still sleepwalking. Okay? So I'm challenging you now to examine your thoughts, reevaluate your belief systems. Okay? So what I'm saying is keep the meat and leave the bones from all of the energies that you have consumed from the collective consciousness, okay, into which you were born. Take the meat and leave the bones, okay, from everything that you've consumed thus far, okay, from the collective consciousness into which you were born, and from now that you are being set apart from. Okay, so it's time to release any spiritual gravity that does not serve you. Okay, this is, self-defeating thoughts, toxic and restrictive relationships, dead end jobs. We know what we need to release. Okay, because whatever it is that you need to release, you're more than tired of it by now. Okay, by releasing what you don't need and separating from the tares, if you are God's good wheat, okay, you are lightening your load of spiritual gravity that I always talk about. These are the things that weigh you down, okay, and keep you stuck and slow you down. It's like the bag lady that Erykah Badu was singing about in Bag Lady, You Gonna Miss Your Bus, dragging all them bags like that. Okay, you can't bring all that stuff with you into the higher realms. But if you release your load, okay, if you lighten your load of spiritual gravity, you will naturally be lifted energetically into a higher level of awareness. I just said something. I have talked about several times about a vision that I had. And this was when, I was in a really low part of my healing journey. I was still feeling real low, but the Most High was giving me visions and dreams, to keep me motivated and to keep me, convicted and keep my mind focused on something higher. And I remember having this vision of, it was people. These were individual people, and each person, we all had because I was one of the people too, but it was other people. We each had our hands, we each had an umbrella in our right hand. And the wind was blowing like in a way that it was lifting us up using, how like an air balloon is lifted into the air. Somehow the wind was going, lifting us up. We each had an umbrella. The umbrella was rainbow. Everybody had a rainbow colored umbrella. And we was all holding on to our umbrella with our right hand. And the wind was lifting us up. And everybody had a smile on their face. And I knew that this was showing me what some people would call the rapture, you know what I'm saying, the ascension, or whatever you want to call it. I knew that I was being shown that, you know, there were going to be select people who would be chosen to ascend. Thing that stood out to me in that vision is that each and every person had a smile on their face, including myself. And it made me happy in a moment when I was really in a dark time. And I feel like, you know, that dream, because my visions and my dreams are always prophetic. It's always showing me something that, you know, has not yet come to pass. And so, you know, I knew when I had that vision that it was going to come to pass, as did the dream that we're in right now that I dreamt about 26 years ago. Ike Love, I see you in the building. So, you know, that vision of, you know, everyone being lifted up with their umbrellas, you know, the Most High be showing me like, you know, this is what's going to happen. These are the things that I've promised you. Don't forget these things, you know, as you're going through your darkness. Just keep going, because I'm not a man that I should lie, and everything that I tell you will come to pass. And so, because all of my life, everything that the Most High has shown me and told me has come to pass, I have absolute faith and total trust in that. A lot of your spiritual gravity consists of self-imposed restrictions, okay, that you've agreed to, that you don't seem to really understand or realize for whatever reason. You know, that you've always had the liberty to change your mind about if it no longer serves you. If anything that you have decided or you chose for your life becomes too heavy, too toxic, too restrictive for you, this includes any person, place, or thing, okay, that may be weighing you down, okay? Children come with you because they are just as much you as your hands and feet. Anything else can be let go of. I just said something. Okay. Your children are just as much you as your hands and feet. So they're not adding any weight when you bring your children along with you. But anything else, any other person, place, or thing that is weighing you down, you don't owe it to them to allow them to do that. Okay. And so if they are adults, if your children, even if your children have become adults, it's okay to let them go, because when we become adults, we are responsible for ourselves. Okay, so this is a lesson that a lot of empathic people need to learn. We need to learn the art of detachment, because letting go of people does not mean that you no longer love them. You can love people from a distance. You can love without cost and condition, and you can also love without attachment. Love is a connection, attachment. I just said something. So if anything is weighing you down at this time, you need to be working on releasing that, or you need to be acknowledging that you are willingly forfeiting your ticket, okay, into heaven. So there is a scripture that is running across the bottom of the screen on YouTube. I see you in the building, Divine Discoveries. It will be easier for a camel to go through the eye of a needle, okay, than for a rich person to enter into the kingdom of heaven, or the kingdom of God. This is Matthew 19, verse 24. Why is this a fact? Why will it be easier for you know a camel to pass through the eye of a needle than for a rich person to get into heaven? It's because of all of the things that a rich person would be attached to. See, rich only means that you have accumulated a whole bunch of things, a whole bunch of money, which only buys things. Things ain't worth nothing in the kingdom. You can't bring any of that into the kingdom with you. But a rich man tends to be attached to the things that he has purchased with his money. He tends to be attached to his home and his land and his, you know what I'm saying, his crown and all of these things that they own. And so the rich man is not going to be able to come into heaven because he's going to be trying to bring all of those things that render him a quote unquote rich man. A rich man would actually have to become a poor man, okay, in 3D standards in order to enter into the kingdom. 111 in the chat. And most rich people, because of their attachments to physical people, places, and things, they're not going to do it. I'm talking to some of y'all right now who's in here listening right now. Because I know when you think about that rich man who's not willing to let go of the things that they're attached to, you thinking about celebrities and kings and presidents. No, some of y'all will not be entering into the kingdom because of your attachments that equate to spiritual gravity. Toxic relationships, restrictive relationships, holding on to things that are beneath you because you don't know your worth and your value. Allowing other people to siphon energy off of you. Narcissistic relationships where people suck off of your life force. They literally got a straw, okay, tapped into your auric field, sucking out your light. It's because of these types of attachments that you won't be making it. A true master of self has released all earthly attachments. In order to become a new you, the old you and everything that is attached to the old you must be released. Most people are not willing to release all of that. They're not willing to go through the several ego deaths that us soldiers on the front lines have gone through. Most people who dwell in an energy of fear don't think that they would survive the ego deaths that a lot of us have already survived. And so again, it's much harder work than most people expect for it to be. And it's not, again, it's a frequency that you cannot fake. If you have not truly put in the work, you will not be entering into those gates. It'll be like the game of life. If anyone who's ever played that, you can get all the way to the end. But if you have not made all the right moves, that wrong move can set you right back at 0.0 and you got to start all over. 111 in the chat. You cannot enter into a higher dimension without becoming a vibrational match, okay, and harmonizing to the energy in that dimension. I mean, it's common sense to me. Do you guys understand that there is already a greater non-physical part of you already existing in the higher realms? This is what we speak of as the higher self. That your higher self is already in the higher realms, looking at you from a bird's eye view. Okay? This is the big you looking at the small you. So in order for the small you, okay, the part of your consciousness that believes itself to be here, wishes to experience being there, you must align vibrationally. Okay? Heaven and hell are states of mind that then create states of being. The mind creates matter. Okay? And so, in order to vibrate at the level of heaven, your heart. If you remember my last lesson, the heart is the mind. Okay? And so, in order to vibrate at the level of heaven, you must fill your heart, which is the mind, with love. I'm trying to make this make sense to y'all. God and the devil are energies that any of us can embody. It's you and your higher self or you and your lower self. Okay? In the higher realms, the energy of love permeates the air because God lives there and his energy can be felt everywhere. Okay, so in the higher realms, you can literally breathe in. I mean, it feels like you're just breathing in love, and everything is alive. The trees know you, the grass knows you, because what's at the very core of everything that is living is that one spirit. So everything knows everyone. We all know each other, and we all love each other, and we all care for one another in the higher realms. And so if your heart and your mind are not acclimated to that vibration, you will not be coming. Because as I said before, the higher realms, the realm of heaven, is a no narc network. An unraveler is at the gate. Okay? Checking the weight of your heart as you try to enter. The deeper that you breathe in the higher realms, and when I speak of the higher realms, I'm not speaking of another place. I'm speaking of another state of mind. Okay, so this does not require you to go anywhere, okay, in order to experience what I'm trying to give you. The deeper that you breathe, the more of this divine essence that's in the air, okay, that you fill yourself with. The breath is the spirit, and the spirit is life. So the more that you fill yourself with breath, the deeper that you breathe, the more life that you are pulling into yourself, that the more life you have to breathe out of yourself into your thought forms, okay? To make them become things. This is how thoughts become things in the higher realms. In the higher realms, only the thoughts that are a vibrational match to the Most High, to the will of the Most High, okay, will be the ones that will actually manifest for you. It has always, when it comes to working with the light, only the thoughts that are a vibrational match to the will of God. Why? Because he knows that if you, let me explain it like this. The necessity of purifying your heart and releasing spiritual gravity and anything that is dark, negative, or heavy before you enter into the kingdom is because when you enter into the kingdom, you are given back your power to create your own reality. Okay. And so the only way that you will be given that power is if the Most High knows that you're creating from a place of love and pure intentions and for the greater good of all. You will not be given that power, and you would not be given the ability to create your heart's desires if your heart is not pure. Hence the necessity for the spiritual path, the cleansing, the shadow work, the purging, the inner child work. The heart must be pure, or you will not be granted any power. Like I said, it has always been this way when it comes to working with the light. Now, those who do dark magic and work with the most low, they are able to create illusions because that's all he's able to create. Okay. And this is why their illusions eventually wear off and the truth still be standing there. Okay. So when a quote unquote witch or a warlock, a sorceress does a spell, it is temporary. Understand that it's always temporary because a spell only lasts for a spell. Okay. The truth always remains. It never changes. It doesn't last for a certain amount of time. It's always there. The illusion is temporary. And the only reason that the illusion is allowed to be here is so that we better appreciate the truth. So the only people that are going to be able to manifest in the higher realms are those people who have purified their hearts enough that God trusts you. You know what I'm saying? To create things that are going to be a benefit for everyone involved. Okay? So only your thoughts that are a vibrational match to the will of God will manifest for you. there are different forms of breath work that I am going to be teaching you guys on Patreon. Okay, if you're interested. These are different forms of rhythmic breathing that revitalize your mind, they revitalize your body at a cellular level, and it helps you to master manifester because it's all connected to the breath. Okay. So I will be teaching a combination of breath work and visualization techniques, okay, that I use for myself to manifest. And it works at a very high rate. But once again, it requires you to be coming from pure, with pure intent, you know what I'm saying? And from a pure state of mind. Okay, you're here just taking in the lesson, divine discoveries. I appreciate you. I keep trying to people to you, but they dismiss you because of who I am, living with fear. Yes, divine discoveries, we have to be comfortable. When we get to a certain place on our path to realize that we are not for everyone. You know what I'm saying? Like all of my platforms are fairly small compared to other broadcasters, and I don't have a problem with that because the what I'm bringing is meant for a very specific and select group of people. You know what I'm saying? There are levels to this, and a lot of people haven't reached this level because they have yet to walk through the valley of the shadows yet. Most people are still afraid of the dark. And so, we choose when we enter into that valley. And so a lot of people have, chosen to remain in hypnotic rhythm and going around in circles chasing their tails for fear of the unknown. And so, I'm speaking to a very select group of people. So most people, most people are mouth breathers. Okay. We were just talking about deep breathing and how important this is as you evolve and become a more of a master manifest, or you trying to become a master manifester. Most people are mouth breathers, shallow people with shallow breathing. Okay, because they have yet to understand that the breath is the spirit of God that's going to breathe life into your life forms, into the things that you visualize. So as you awaken, you will gain a greater understanding and appreciation of exactly what it is that you are consuming as you inhale. You think this is air? What is air? What is air? As you awaken, you begin to understand exactly who you are, what you are, and where you are. Okay? So when you awaken, you great appreciation for the breath. And you will never be content with shallow breathing ever again because the breath is sacred. Okay? When you have aligned yourself with the great I am that is within you. Because at that point, when you have aligned yourself with the indwelling spirit, all of your thoughts, words, deeds, and intentions towards other people are pure. They are coming from a place of pure love because that's what the indwelling spirit is. And therefore, everything that you are giving from within yourself is edifying to the world. Okay? It is as edifying to the world as is the word of God or goddess. Because that's exactly what it is when you have aligned with your own indwelling spirit. Once you have purified your heart, you are granted the desires of your heart because the Most High knows that what you create will be for the greater good of all. See how this ties into the greatest commandment, which was to love the Most High with all of your heart. The second, which is like unto it, which was to love the neighbor as the self. Okay? It all comes full circle. Love was the greatest commandment. The second, which is like unto it, it was the newest commandment, and it was the final commandment. All of the law and all of the prophets are to be hung on love. By love shall all men know who the disciples of the Most High are. Love conquers all, and perfect love casts out fear, which is what the matrix is comprised of. So until you have learned the greatest commandment, which is to love, until you have learned the newest commandment, which is also to love, and until you have adhered to the final commandment, which is love, you will not be entering into the kingdom, which is not a physical place, but a state of mind into which you cannot cheat your way, but you must work your way. You work your way into this state of mind by cultivating a relationship with self within you. Okay, so this is where the work begins. If you are in the process of ascending in this very moment, which a lot of us are, you may be feeling tired. You may have been feeling, I've been feeling really drained over these last few days. There was just a full moon, a couple of days ago. The energy is still here. If you're in tune and you felt the energy before it came and you still feel it, this is very intense energy, but it is a time to release and renew. It is a time where all of the dark places in your mind may be being illuminated now. All of the shadows and the limbic regions and the subconscious mind illuminated so that you can understand and see the truth that the dark part of the duality that this world is created of is just an illusion. Okay? All you need is a little bit of light to be able to see that, light worker. So if you are ascending at this time, you may be needing to rest more. And if your body is telling you to rest, do that. Okay, you're getting spiritual upgrades, you're getting DNA upgrades. Make sure that you're staying hydrated, drinking plenty of spring water. Okay, you're going through physical changes as a result of the spiritual changes that you are going through. Okay, this is a profound transformation, like going from the caterpillar to the butterfly. Your heart is expanding, and as your heart expands, your physical body will begin to, because what's happening is that your ethereal body is aligning with the physical body, and as they align, the physical body is going to start, you're going to notice in your physical body that emotional things, emotional sensations stimulate your physical body now more so than physical desires. Okay, so saying like you will be more attracted to what feels good to your soul more so than what looks good to your eyes. So it's like, so your type of a person that you may be attracted to may change. The foods that you eat will change. The environments that you take yourself around, they will change. A lot of everything is about you is going to change because your world is a projection of your internal state of being. So as you are changing on the inside, the world outside of you is also going to change because your world is just a projection, again, of your internal state of being. It's a mirror of your mind. And don't forget that the mind, the heart, is the mind. So the state of your heart determines the state of your life, the quality of your life. This is why we have to guard the heart, because it is the mind, and from the heart, which is the mind, flow all of the issues of life. So your heart is expanding. And as it does, it feels as if the physical things that used to attract you no longer attract you as much as things that feel good to your soul, because now your soul, your spirit has taken the wheel. Okay, so this is how you achieve that internal peace and harmony that is required to be aware of the fact that heaven is already here. Okay, you experience heaven with your ethereal body, which is now aligned with the physical body, or this is the goal. Align the ethereal body with the physical body. Your chakra system is located in the ethereal body. Okay. And so once we align that, our physical experience of being physical um, becomes more abundant, life more abundantly. Okay. So this is an energetic alignment that allows you to have life more abundantly. The path is not about forsaking all of your sensual pleasures of the physical realm on behalf of God. This is what a lot of religious people would have you believe. Okay? That is not the whole point. That's that. I mean, you're missing the whole point. Okay? Saying, I'm not going to allow myself to have any physical or sensual pleasures while I'm here. Okay? Just as we did our long suffering on behalf of the Most High, due to the laws of rhythm and the law of polarity, just as that pendulum swung into that darkness, into that sadness, into that, to the left. Now it's time, due to the law of the rhythm, for the pendulum to swing back the other way. So just as you went into the darkness, now it's time to swing back over here into the light and experience the good part. Okay, so that wasn't the end of the story. You coming through the valley of the shadows. Okay, the only reason for the shadows was so that you could understand and know yourself as the light. Okay, so as that pendulum is swinging back now to the good side with you on it. Okay, the only reason it swang to the other side was so that you could partake of the knowledge. The only reason you needed the knowledge of evil was so that you could fully appreciate the good. Okay? And it didn't kill you. It didn't damage you forever. It made you wiser. It made you stronger. Now that you have partaken of the knowledge of evil, now you get the pleasure of remembering the truth, the knowledge of good, the truth of who, what, and where you really are. You're not really here. This reality is a dream that the gods are having. Okay? So I say it a lot. Most of us are asleep still within a dream within a dream. This whole reality is a collective dream that the gods are having, and your individual reality is a dream that you are having. And as we awaken individually, we get to enjoy remembering that we are the creator of our own reality. As we awaken collectively, then we get to take control of our own reality. You can only awaken from a dream of duality by acknowledging the truth over the illusion, because that's all reality is. One side of the yin yang is, one side is the truth, one side is the lie. One side is the light, one side is the dark. One side is God, one side is the devil. One side is the moon, one side is the sun. One side is the man, one side is the woman. The truth is, they are different variations of the same energy. So the truth is, there is no separation. That the truth is that the illusion of light and darkness being two different energies, they're not two different energies, they're two different spectrums of the same energy. So think of it as light Okay, so God would be on the light end of the spectrum, and the devil would be on the dark end of the spectrum. It's the same energy. Okay, just two different frequencies of the same energy. This is why I say the most low and the most high, because I'm speaking in terms of energy, frequency, and vibration. Love is the most high, it's the highest vibration, okay, that you can ever. And the most low is the absence of that. One is the truth, the other is an illusion. One is heaven, one is hell. One is the real world, one is the matrix. So, to awaken from this dream of duality, acknowledge the truth over the illusion. The illusion is that there's two different energies here. The truth is that there is only one. Angles of light, or the absence of light. The truth is that God is everywhere. The illusion says that there are some places that God is not. The devil is a lie. All you need in those places that appear to be dark is light, light worker. I'm speaking to my chosen ones, my light workers, my star paths, my star seeds, my empaths. You are the ones who carry this light within you. And if you activate it, turn on your heart light, the shadow of God will disappear. There will be nothing blocking the light to make that shadow. And then you will be able to see that heaven is already here. Okay, so when I say that, the next level of reality, the next level of awareness experience is a no-narc network, is because the narcissistic people, the borderline personalities, the sociopaths, the psychopaths, these are the people who are the carriers of this darkness that create these shadows that's blocking the light. Okay, so the battle is between the carriers of the light and the chosen vessels of the darkness. Okay, this is the spiritual battle that is going on. Now, the way that you win it is not what the way that you think, because we're not thinking in terms of 3D fighting, which is what this is, which is why, which is what is going to catch a lot of people off guard, because that's what they're preparing for, a physical war. Okay, this ain't that. Okay, to raise yourself above, you can raise your vibration to the point where you're out of the reach, okay, of the opposition. Pure thoughts, okay, and centered self-awareness allows you to rise above the influence of a low vibrational world into a lighter, brighter world, which is being projected from within a balanced and harmonious state of mind. Remember, I said heaven and hell are states of mind that then create states of being. Pure thoughts and centered self-awareness, okay? Instead of looking outside of yourself at, what's on the news and what everybody else is doing, which is what they want you to do, because it's a distraction from the self. The kingdom of heaven is within you. Okay? So the first thing you want to do is start looking there, instead of looking at the news and all these other things that are spoon feeding you negativity. That is the main reason why you can't enter into heaven. Pure thoughts, high vibrational thoughts. Heaven is a state of mind. Pure thoughts Keep your awareness centered within the self because that is where heaven is. Keep your awareness centered within the self because that is where God is. Keep your thoughts pure because your thoughts become things. If you do these simple adjustments within the self, you will find yourself rising above that low vibrational world. The shift is one in consciousness. I don't remember what scripture that is, but it says, that God is doing a new thing and it's not going to come through observation as far as looking with the eyes. Okay, it's not about that. It's not physical. It's a shift in consciousness. It's going to happen by a renewing of the mind. So in order to see a lighter, brighter world, okay, that lighter, brighter world has to be projected from within. Because your heart is your mind and your mind creates matter. So in order to be project a heaven outside of yourself, you have to create heaven within yourself. A balanced, harmonious state of mind creates a balanced, harmonious state of being, which equals heaven. So when you are ready to exit the matrix, which equates to an imbalanced, chaotic state of mind, which we know is the state of mind of the narcissist, the borderline personality, the sociopath, the psychopath. And we know that the Most High gave his people power, love, and a sound mind. Okay, so this is how you're going to know the difference between the wheat and the tares. Okay. Peace, Life, and everybody else that's entered into the chat. Thank you all for the gifts. I am going to be closing out soon. But I do appreciate everybody stopping by. Divine Discoveries, Dr. Feelgood, Ike Love, in my House of Healing LLC room on YouTube. I am live on both platforms. But again, when you're ready to exit the matrix, which equates to you having a chaotic and imbalanced state of mind, release the spiritual gravity that is holding you down. Okay, replace it with positive thoughts and affirmations. Let go of resentments from the past. Let go of fear of the future. Stop conforming to the expectations of others and allow the spirit within you to be free. That's it. For those of you who missed this broadcast, you can go to House of Healing LLC and listen to the playback. It is a recording. It will be part of a playlist entitled Midnight Mindfulness. This particular episode is called Escaping the Matrix. Okay. And so I will open my boxes temporarily if anyone wants to hop up, if there are any questions, comments, or concerns before I close out. And if there are none, thank you all for the gifts. Thank you all for your attention. I do hope that what it was giving was truly helpful for you on your path. Okay. Let me check my question. Let me look at my comments real quick on YouTube, and then I'm going to shut it down and go and get some rest. Okay. So yeah, so YouTube, House of Healing LLC, Bigo Live. It's been real. I do hope that you guys can take these, the advice and practically apply it to your life. That's the only reason why I'm here. Okay. And everything that I said is from a pure place of love. Okay. You are much welcome. You're very welcome, Maestro. Thank you for being here. And I will see you all on the next live. Peace, love, life, healing, and abundance.